Straight ahead on Point News, those eating at restaurants in the city of Pittsburgh will now be able to see the restaurant grades right away. We'll have more coming up.
The city hits the runway. The local designer collections featured at this annual Pittsburgh event.
Pitt, RMU, and Duquesne basketball coaches unite. The good cause that brought them out to Heinz Field. Point News starts right now.
You may soon see big changes on every restaurant in Allegheny.
Live from our studio in downtown Pittsburgh, you're watching Point News. Welcome to Point News. I'm Chris Hoffman.
And I'm Elena LaQuatra. A new idea is being debated in Pittsburgh.
It might affect where you decide to eat. Point News reporter Red Watson has the story.
You may soon see big changes on every restaurant in Allegheny County. A new proposal would require them to display their health department grades on the front door of the building. Inspectors would post an A, B, or C based on cleanliness in an effort to make reports more transparent to the public. While restaurant owners brace for the economic implications, I've found people have varying opinions on how it would impact their choices for eating out.
I think that would actually steer me away from a couple of businesses. I understand what they're trying to go for because it makes restaurants kind of step up their game if they're not doing as well. But if I was to see that a restaurant was a B or a C, it would steer me away from an A restaurant because I know more popular cities like New York City has that kind of grade system. And I think it's very effective and it does make you go to these kinds of establishments.
Others say they don't care about the grade. For them, it's all about the taste.
But if it's not an A-plus restaurant, that's not going to affect how I eat there because that's honestly some of the best places you'll find. You can find a little hole in the wall that serves the most amazing hot dogs you'll ever eat in your life, and if the floor is a little sticky, it doesn't matter to me because your food is still top-notch.
The Health Board has already approved the plan and hopes to start it in January, but it still has to be approved by County Council. Reporting for Point News, I'm Red Watson.
High fashion hits the city. Pittsburgh hosted its 5th annual Fashion Week. It featured designer showcases all over the city in the span of 7 days. Point News reporter Aubrey Watkins was here to see it all.
Pittsburgh Fashion Week is happening in Highmark Stadium in Station Square. It features local designers who created collections for the runways.
I saw an open call. I joined a mailing list about 2 years ago, and they had an open call looking for designers. So I had to bring 2 new looks. I made my first 2 looks ever and took them to the audition and was selected. The inspiration was from the fabrics themselves, and I didn't know what to do with them. They were very bold, so I decided to go with have a very simple 50s silhouette, so the patterns could speak for themselves and the silhouettes could just complement them.
The designers that had their collections shown in Fashion Week are hoping that this will be their way to break into the business that will change their lives for the better. Fashion Week also included a Fashion Avenue marketplace where many local vendors were selected to advertise and sell their merchandise in order to get their name out there.
I work with Tracy Lynn Fashion Jewelry. I'm a business partner. I've been in the business for 2 years. And with this, it is our own home-based business where we do catalog shows, we have home shows, and we just have a great time meeting people. Anything that has to do with fashion, of course, jewelry has a lot to do with fashion, especially with the accessories and things like that. So it's a great way to become involved with Fashion Week. I'm excited about it.
Miyoshi Anderson is the executive director and founder that put the week-long event together 5 years ago. Anderson wants Pittsburgh Fashion Week to eventually measure up to New York's, while still maintaining the Steel City's uniqueness. With its growing popularity, Pittsburgh Fashion Week is quickly becoming a staple event for the city, with plans to continue and grow in the years to come. Reporting for Point News, I'm Aubrey Henkin.
The 37th running of the Richard S. Calgary City of Pittsburgh Great Race hit a new record with over 16,000 participants and over 5,000 walkers and runners in the 5K race. I was running there with our own Kelsey Metzger. Whether walking or running, people of all ages and skill levels seem to enjoy themselves on a pleasant Sunday morning.
I haven't ridden a race since high school, so, solid time. We were dodging people a lot of the time, so it's just kind of like a fun run for us.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Basically just fun. I mean, when you're weaving around all these people, you're really just doing it for fun, and that's what it's all about in the end.
4 of the cities starting in Oakland and looping around Carlow University, Duquesne, and finishing at Point State Park. Now, if that video inspired you to sign up for the area's next marathon, you better do so soon. Registration opened this week for the 2015 Dick's Sporting Goods Pittsburgh Marathon. The race isn't until May 2nd, but it always sells out early. Organizers expect more than 30,000 runners to take part. To sign up, go to pittsburghmarathon.com.
The 2014 Point Park Job and Internship Fair was held in the Student Center this week. Employers were hiring for internships, full-time and part-time jobs. Some of the many local businesses and nonprofit groups that were on hand include UPMC, the American Red Cross, and the Rivers Casino. Other company, ELF Entertainment, has been coming to the fair for 4 years.
What continuously brings us back is the great environment and the people here. We really connect well with a lot of the majors that are here. We got a lot of sports, entertainment, and business kind of majors here. We work a lot with entertainment and entertaining young kids and corporate events and other stuff like that. So we do connect really well with the majors that are from the school.
And 100 employers attended this week's job fair. Tired of eating cafeteria food, but don't think you can afford to eat downtown? As it turns out, there are plenty of places in the city that are willing to cut students a break when it comes to price. I had the chance to check them out.
I thought it would be a nice idea, since we're surrounded by the university, that we made it attractive for people to come in, and especially college students, faculty, and staff, to be able to come in and get a little bit of a discount on their food and beverage every day.
Wesley Ross, owner of Wesley's Delicatessen and Catering on the corner of Wood Street and 4th Avenue, offers 10% off for all students, faculty, and staff. This small deli shop is known for its sandwiches, which are named after areas, towns, boroughs, buildings, and places in the city. That being said, of course he named one of the sandwiches the Point Park.
I also realized that it being a theater art school, that people are probably pretty health conscious. So the Point Park's ingredients have changed a couple of times, and they will continue to do so.
Wesley's isn't the only place that offers students a little bit of a discount. Others include Tossed on 5th Avenue, which is best known for its build-your-own salad option, DeBella Subs, Moe's, and My Big Fat Greek Gyro in Market Square, Mandarin Gourmet on Wood Street, Tavern 245 on 4th Avenue, and more. And it's not just food establishments offering these special student perks. Cardamone's Hair Salon on the corner of Wood Street and Forbes Avenue offers 10% off all hair and nail services if students use their school ID.
We get a lot of students that come in and they send us a lot of their friends, so it works very well for both of us.
Students can also check out livingpittsburgh.com for other deals and discounts.
Coming up on Point News, summer-like temperatures start off the fall.
We'll see if colder weather is on the way in our weekend outlook.
Coming up on Point News, find out what brought coaches from Pitt, RMU, and Duquesne to Heinz Field.
We are a social people. We share our inspiration, wisdom, creations, and memories. We share what makes us laugh and what angers us. Built on the notion of a free flow of ideas, our country thrives on the freedom of speech. Without it, who would watch over our governing powers? And how would we share our history to make a difference for the future? It's this freedom to share that gives us a reason to listen.
Start your morning with City News.
Start your morning with campus news.
Start your morning with political coverage.
Start your morning with fun.
Start your morning with us, only on Daybreak.
Did you know that Point Park has a cheerleading squad? Don't get it confused. Not only do our cheerleaders represent Point Park at regional and national competitions, but they also promote spirit and awareness of every sports team on campus. Come to any men's or women's varsity basketball game at home to watch the cheerleaders perform at halftime and cheer from the sidelines from the first jump ball to the final buzzer. Sports not your thing? You can catch the cheer team lead the crowd at the fall and spring pep rallies as well, or at several competitions around Pittsburgh each year. So what are you waiting for? Show the Point Park cheerleaders the support they show you.
To me, Freedom of speech means there are no barriers to voice opinions. Communication is key to a functioning society and relationships in those societies. I believe our forefathers gave us this right, so if concerns or problems arise, we have the right to respectively use words, aids, and body language to give our message. Compromise may not always be met, but when it does meet, it opens up the world to new ideas, relationships, and makes the world become a happier place.
First case of Ebola has been diagnosed in the United States. The man reportedly had contact with up to 18 other people, including some school-aged children. Doctors say the chances of the disease being spread are very small, but people who the patient came in contact with are being monitored for the next 3 weeks.
Point Park University is just a few blocks away from one of America's best spaces. The American Planning Association has just named Point State Park one of its 10 great public spaces for 2014. The group chose the park because of its character, quality, and planning that is mindful of design. The fountain, views of the downtown skyline, and the Three Rivers also played a big role. Group also pointed out the events held there, including the Three Rivers Arts Festival and the Three Rivers Regatta.
In the never-ending fight against cancer, local basketball coaches came together at Heinz Field to help raise money for research.
Coaches vs. Cancer began in 1993 and since then has raised more than $87 million. Point News reporter Tyler Jetski was at Heinz Field for the event.
RMU and Duquesne basketball coaches got together tonight at Heinz Field for a great cause, Coaches versus Cancer. Tonight, these coaches left the hardwood behind and took to the red carpet. Every year, the American Cancer Society and the National Association of Basketball Coaches team up for Coaches versus Cancer. The event raises money for cancer research.
I believe it brings a lot of awareness to an awful disease that really afflicts many of us and touches many of us through our family members and even more personally than that. To bring awareness in this way and to raise money the way that we do, I think it's a very, very worthwhile cause.
The basketball coaches from Pitt, Robert Morris, and Duquesne were all honored tonight. Another highlight was a silent auction that included signed Penguin jerseys and packages from other Pittsburgh sports teams.
These funds support the Society's mission of saving lives and creating a world with less cancer and more birthdays by helping people stay well, by helping people get well, and by finding cures and fighting back.
There was also a special appearance from Steelers Hall of Fame cornerback Mel Blount, who gave away an autographed football. Over the past few years, the event has raised over $87 million. Reporting from Heinz Field for Point News, I'm Tyler Jeske.
Straight ahead on Point News, a North Park restaurant celebrates its first year of business.
And a rough week if you're a Pittsburgh sports fan. The Point News Sports Report is next.
Here at the Pioneers sideline, we get freshmen involved as quickly as possible so they get the real-world experience on air and behind the scenes to set themselves apart in internships and potential jobs. Blaine, where is that video? I needed it in KeyPro like yesterday.
All right, I got you, Chris. But I had a quick question for you guys.
What do you mean the questions? It's always a question. It's always a... What? Where is he? Blaine! 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 Freshman, you can't find any good ones anymore.
Do you know all the things you can do with your student ID? Along with getting discounts to some of the restaurants around campus. Showing your Point Park ID can net you deals on tickets at theaters in the Cultural District. To check out all the current options, just search Student Discounts on the Point Park University homepage.
An expression, a belief, a symbol, freedom to worship, an unspoken word. To express yourself means standing up for what you believe in. There's a freedom to worship, and a freedom to live. To speak never saying a word, to love, to let your voice be heard. The light of your own path. For more information, visit www.freedomofspeechpsa.org.
Empty for nearly 30 years, the restaurant at the North Park Boathouse is closing in on its first anniversary.
Point News reporter Julia Kramer has more.
North Park is a great place to come to run, bike, walk, and even kayak, but has quickly become known as a destination place for restaurant enthusiasts and beer connoisseurs. Here at the North Park Over the Bar restaurant, they are celebrating a very successful one-year anniversary. North Park has leased its county property to this privately owned business that opened in October of 2013.
Mix of clientele. We get a lot of people, obviously, who are out in the park, who just came from a run or who are just going on a run, bike ride, of course, too. And then we do get a lot of people that are just living in the suburbs that come because we're kind of like a destination spot. I've heard people call us the Narnia of the North Hills because people don't necessarily know we're here, and then they walk in the front door and it's like, oh my goodness, this is here, this exists. So it's pretty cool for us.
The boathouse here had sat empty for nearly 30 years before being renovated. It now houses shared space for the restaurant and the Kayak Pittsburgh facility.
Is this your first time at Over the Bar?
That's the second time I've been here.
Second time, but what do you think?
I love it here.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
What's your favorite part?
Oh, the burger.
One of the big draws is the extensive menu available. The county has other active liquor license within city park lines, such as both golf courses and other special events like the Rib and Wing Fest, but it appears that Over the Bar has set the bar and given Pittsburghers just one more great reason to visit our city parks. The county has considered this as a model for similar future county property leasing. Reporting for Point News, I'm Julia Kramer.
Elena, the weather looked beautiful out there at North Park, didn't it?
It did, but can we expect the same for this weekend?
Tyler Jeske is here with your weekend outlook.
Thanks, Chris. It was pretty good out there for North Park. Today started off pretty chill, 55. It's been warming up great out there today. 70 at noon, high of 75. But don't get too used to this. It's going to get worse as the weekend goes on. Friday is going to rain just about most of the day, 80% chance with a high of 78, a low of 52. The rain is really going to keep it going. Chill down, 54 degrees as a high on Saturday with a low of 41. Again, it's supposed to rain most of the day on Saturday, leading you eventually to Sunday with a high of 58 and a low of 45. Not much rain going on there. But, Tori, how was the weather out there at the Pirates rally the other day?
Pep rally in Market Square this week, leading up to Wednesday night's wild card playoff game against the Giants. Unfortunately, though, fans and the players will have to wait until next year. San Francisco shut out the Bucks. The game was tied at 0 in the fourth inning when Brandon Crawford hit a grand slam. The Pirates never came back, losing 8-0. And at the rally, former Pirate and current commentator Steve Blass talked about the team's connection to the city. Other former Pirates also made appearances at the rally, including Bob Friend, Dave Justy, and Manny Sanjian. For the first time in their 135-year history, the University of Michigan football team has lost 3 games before the month of October. Not only do the losses have fans upset, but they're also angry over the decision of coach Brady Hoke, who left quarterback Shane Morris in the game last week after he was experiencing concussion symptoms. More than 1,000 students gathered in protest at the university, demanding that Coach Hoke and Athletic Director David Brandon be fired.
Well, that's this week for Point News, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here next Thursday, live at 2 p.m., guys.
Have an excellent weekend, everyone.